You got to earn your liberation.
You see John Hope back there in the background with all of the black elite of Atlanta.
Let me get
Wakanda.
Yeah.
The ongoing controversies surrounding plans for Atlanta's top city police training facility. Well, Atlanta's Mayor Andre Dickens once again is insisting that the training center will be built at that site in DeKalb County, and that's where we're going to begin. Here's the 11 Alive John Shirk with these new developments tonight.
Outside Atlanta City Hall, a public show of support for Mayor Andre Dickens. Dozens of community leaders backing him and backing his controversial plans for the so-called Cop City Public Safety Training Center.
The Atlanta Public Safety Training Center is moving forward because we need it.
Kamal Franklin with Community Movement Builders watched the event shaking his head.
I think Mayor Dickens is running scared, and the fact that they have to call out basically the Atlanta
wearing not one BPM piece of swag
center speaks volumes of the fact that no one wants this center built.
But Andrew Young told me after the rally that when he was Atlanta mayor back in the 1980s, he supported building Georgia 400 inside the perimeter despite popular opposition because it was the right thing to do, and that everyone agrees now the highway was and is needed. Same, he says, with the police training center and Atlanta's leaders now.
You Negroes don't know what you need, what's best for you.
And that means we're going to be cussed out and blamed until it works.
Mayor Dickens defending in this public setting the private meeting of his new community task force on the project, saying that the task force members want to be shielded from controversy and threats.
Could they have put
Kamal
a token
Franklin
white
See John Hope in the back there, standing by that lady?
Once and for all.
At this stage, you know,
They all look alike. They're all blending together in one.
They got John Hope.
To decide whether or not this monstrosity
You're talking
gets
over
built
Kamal,
or not.
man.
And then that will put this matter to bed.
As it is, the mayor's task force on the project, which will report back to him in August, is only looking at some of the project's details, not on whether or where it should be built. The two main concerns of opponents, who the mayor insists do not represent majority opinion. At Atlanta City Hall, John.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, I mean, what all that's on display there is pretty shameful. I mean, and this is why, you know, as Kamal reminded us yesterday, Killer Mike has said nothing about Cop City. Yes, he's because Andy Young is his boy, and as we pointed out for a minute here, Andy Young ain't no Dr. King. In fact, is the antithesis of Dr. King and is the false remnant of that history. Go ahead, Diallo.
Sometimes you can glean a meaning. Like I got people in the comments asking me all kind of shit about politics and family values, as if I haven't been speaking and articulating my position for decades. So if you really want to know, you can know. But we know Killer Mike's position, even if he doesn't say.
Hold up, Diallo. You didn't exist until the people in the chat found you. Don't forget that. Don't forget
this is
the
my
rule of the
first time.
chat.
Right. This is my first time ever speaking on politics and black family values and the black
chat
reactionaries.
speaks us into existence like the Lord himself.
Right. But the same goes with Killer Mike. We was like, what is Killer Mike? Killer Mike is aligned with the NRA. He is aligned with the black bourgeoisie, the black establishment. He is aligned and advocates for the status quo. So do we really need him? Because if he came out and said anything other than I support Cop City, we know he's a goddamn lie, because his actions, his stated positions in the past have all been consistent with these type of actions. You know, it's all about infrastructure. And if you want black banks, you need black police force to guard them black banks. If you want black capitalism, you need a black armed force to protect the exploiter class, the exploiter class from the exploited classes. So you do need an armed working class faction to attack and suppress the unarmed or the non-sanctioned armed factions. So Killer Mike supports Cop City. So running around saying, hey, what is Killer Mike? Ain't said nothing. He said enough. We know where he stands. Like, that's like saying, you know, what's Dr. Umar's position on this particular person being with a snow bunny? You ain't got to go to each instance. We know what his ideology and his position is. Killer Mike is down with Cop City. And when he's called upon, when his white controllers wind that little dial on his back and give him his orders, he will come out and talk the shit, you know, or rap it.
So I think
all the rappers ain't
John Hope
cool.
Bryant always talks about how he got it started in the riots of what's LA riots. Why am I blanking? Rodney King riots. But what he did was during the riots, he took a bunch of white bankers into the black neighborhoods and say, see, you could go here. There's this bank tour that he took. And so it's ironic that he claims to be anti-police in a way during Rodney King, but now he's with the Cop City and his best friend Andy Young, because he's tight with Andy Young too. But also this idea of him being the Federal Reserves.
Yeah, I mean, it's like,
where did he say that? Where did he say that?
I don't know if that was EYL. I think we have a link, but I don't know if that was EYL that he said it. But he pretty much in the interview, he said he wanted to be the Federal Reserve for the black community. I'm pretty sure.
And where did you put where's the link for that one?
Let me get the link because I thought I heard something. All right, hold on.
But I didn't say the
I know,
pigs
but
are
my
working
point
class.
is, if you, real quick, if you send it in our group chat in WhatsApp, there's a whole bunch of stuff flowing through there, so it's hard to keep track of wherever.
Send it to the private chat in the thing.
Yeah,
Put
that's
the
what I
thing
would.
in the thing.
Yeah, that's my.
I didn't say the cops are the working class. I said cops and soldiers are extracted from the working class. They're extracted from the working class. Bill Gates' son and Bill Gates' grandkids are never going to kick in your door. Bill Gates, well, I guess you can't say all the time, but more likely than not, the offspring of the elites, Blue Ivy is never going to join the military, so even though the soldiers and the cops don't qualify as working class, the tragedy is that they are extracted from the working class. So, so it is a group of
I found
class
it,
versus other groups. So no, I didn't call the cops part of the working class. No, they're traitors. They're class traitors.
So in the past, and I'm currently I'm going to post the video separately on the channel, but in the past we've with Brother Kaba in a previous iteration of this show, we did an extended look at Roland Martin and his relationship with John Hope Bryant and the financial advice segments that they were giving on their program. So I'll repost that and put the link in the show description to this show when it's up, if people want to revisit some more on Bryant, because he's quite a character. But and filled, and just as you both, I think, said and alluded to, Hope, behind Bryant, behind the black face of Bryant is a whole bunch of white owners, investors, banks, platforms. It's not, so this whole thing about I'm a black man that did what all black people can do for black people is part of the mythology, but this is what we're talking about here. And when is this brand new? Hello, Geechee.
I don't know when it came from.
I don't know how old it is. I think it's rather recent though.
It's as old as chattel slavery. Negro elite selling
Become
out
the Federal Reserve of the hood. We're gonna create 1 million black businesses. I've already told you about that. One MBB, change the culture and our mindset, our neighborhoods, our communities, our families from where we are to. I mean, black folks are amazing. We've been doing so much with so little for so long. We can almost do anything with nothing. And so I think we've changed our mindset. So we know we can do anything and can role model that for future generations.
For you.
Become the Federal Reserve of the hood.
Look at
We're gonna create 1 million black.
Oh, the attitude. I'm the Federal Reserve of the hood. So if we could just spend a moment with that analogy. What is he so what he's suggesting by that analogy, that he would become the Federal Reserve of the hood, what he wants to convey, and by following up with the claim of creating millions of businesses, he wants to convey that some what did you say, Geechee?
Prevent the centralization of power and money. which he's going to be it's going to be centered in him. He's going to have all the power in him.
Well, but he wants to
venture capitalism.
But
that's all it is.
But what he wants to convey to his audience is this idea that by being the Federal Reserve of the hood, that he's going to be helpful to the hood, that he's going to create business and an economy and wealth for the hood. But that presupposes a false understanding of what the Federal Reserve is and what its function is. So as both of you were pointing out, that's the function of the Federal Reserve.
He would go to jail.
Well, no, but no. But the point, again, he can't literally do anything. That would be threatening legally. But what he's suggesting, so I don't think he would go to jail. If
he started conducting himself like the Federal Reserve, he would go to jail.
Okay, let me just put that aside because that's not my point. What I'm trying to say is that what he's doing, he's creating the false interpretation. He's creating a false consciousness in his audience around what the Federal Reserve does and what his relationship as a venture capitalist, as a Black capitalist would be in that relationship. So what would it be? What does the Federal Reserve do? It organizes the investment and distribution of wealth in this society to assure that it never gets to any
centralized
dangerous point of redistribution. So what he would in fact be doing is, if he did attempt to play the role of a Federal Reserve in the hood, what he would just be doing is micromanaging the exploitation, the abuse, the extraction, the oppression, and then himself benefiting from it. He would then become, in effect, the neo-colonial manager of it. But by playing the role he intends to play, analogies aside, he keeps himself out of the threat Diallo is presenting, because he's not going to actually intervene in any process. He is, if anything, going to become, as I was alluding to a moment ago, the cog, the face of white capital, as he presents himself as some sort of Black Federal Reserve of the hood. And he'll play his role. He'll make himself a whole bunch of money, and the Black community that he relates himself to will be far worse off in the end.
Listen, which I think there's an old Oprah clip when he had some hair and he was talking this shit back in the days. But the same thing with the Federal Reserve is what he basically did during the Rodney King riots. He said he called the banks, he called the pigs, he put them all on a bus, and they took a tour through the hood. And so the white banks started giving him money. I think First Republic was the first one to give them money. He said other people started following suit, and he was managing the money from the white banks to go to whatever Black businesses he seemed credible. So pretty much that's what he was already doing. That was his goal since '92.
Right.
Look at all the bullshit I've been through.
But that points to the overall entrepreneurial. It's like entrepreneurial salvation. It is what I call prosperity politics. That entrepreneurialism is the solution, and entrepreneurs should be the default leaders. We go from religious reverend, doctor, and minister to entrepreneur, CEO leaders who are giving these commencement speeches at colleges and giving every one of the students in the audience a LLC. And those students who just got a university degree running out of the hall screaming, "I'm a business owner because I got an LLC." I mean, so this entrepreneurial cult that has arisen in the community, this entrepreneurial solution that will solve everything, these Black venture capitalists are really, it's even more insidious, because there is a time where Black people, just like in the record industry, just like in the sports industry, Black artists, Black athletes started being like, yo, these white agencies, these white record companies, these white production companies and studios are taking Black talent and exploiting us.
Both of y'all lost our hip hop card, by the way.
Are taking our talent and exploiting us. And so now we got the Don Kinging, the Black record mogul, And now the black financiers coming to like, yeah, I'm one of y'all. So come with me. I'm a black franchise owner. I own black franchises, black owned, and don't understand that these black people who replace the white parasites, the white exploiters, and the black people come and say, well, now this is black capitalists. You know, it's a black man in the Brook Brothers suit. And they are seducing us to go through the exact same cycle that we started to have some level of awakening of. And they're seducing us back into the system using black people in the same positions, enacting the exact same behaviors as their white predecessors.
So I made a line that John Hope been running this game since '92. Look all the bullshit I've been through, and only one person in the chat caught it. Y'all two didn't. So that means y'all.
I of course caught it. I just didn't think it was worthy of interrupting Diallo and acknowledging. Of course.
So
you know.
So Diallo, what Diallo was trying to explain that John Hope has this idea of conscious capitalism, where he makes a quote that racism does exist. But we've got to save our own lives. We have to get over it and get to it. So Black and Brown America have to speak the language of empowerment. So what I think we should do is we should let the chat vote between the two after we go over this person and then Tyler Perry, who's the most ignorant and who's the most danger to Black community between.
So you
John
raised
Hope,
that on your Instagram.